Hello, Westford. The superintendent is warning that the budget will be tight next fiscal year. Papagino's and D'Angelo's on Route 110 both shut their doors for good this week. And we bring you another episode of After the Bell. I'm Tracy Tebro, a WestfordCAT board member, and it's time for WestfordCAT News. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you to subscribe to our free daily newsletter with all the latest Westford news delivered to your inbox. Just visit westfordcatnews.org and click on the red subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. Election Day has finally come and gone. Here's News Director Joyce Polino-Crane with highlights of the results.
Thanks, Tracy. The 2018 midterm election will be remembered in Westford for attracting more voters to the polls than any in recent memory. Town Clerk Patty Doobie said that in her 20 years of working at Town Hall, she couldn't recall a bigger turnout. Preliminary results show 69% of the 17,000 registered voters cast ballots. There were 3 key races that directly affect the town. Westford resident Jim Arcero will return as a state representative of Westford, Littleton, and part of Chelmsford for a 6th term. The Democrat won the 2nd Middlesex District seat over Republican Kathy Lynch, also of Westford. Here he is giving his victory speech on the night of November 6th.
This is a great night. This is a great night. I wanted to be back here at the Outlook because 10 years ago is where I had my victory in 2008 when I first won, and I'm missing my parents tonight because I lost my mom last year, and I lost my dad about 4 years ago. And I'm looking out in the crowd here, and Kristen Cressman, Steve Sorrow, Bob McCusker, Mary McCusker, Jose Ramirez, Jeanette Wilkinson, Jeff Tucker, all these folks were here for me when I was standing there, and my parents came and hugged me first time I won my election. So shout out to my mom and dad. I love you. I know you're watching over me. You're proud of me. You know, putting your name on a ballot is probably one of the most humbling things anybody can ever do. Being in office now for 10 years, working for the people of the towns of Chelmsford, Littleton, and Westford, it's still nerve-wracking. I was still at the kitchen table with former Representative Jeff Hall, sweating over winning by 68 or 69% in Westford. I was still pretty scared about it. I mean, that's just the way things are. But it is one of the most humbling things you can ever do because it's people that you help and that you work for that really gives you the fuel and the energy to keep moving forward. And it's a humbling process, and I'm just so blessed to represent this district, the towns of Chelmsford, Littleton, and Westford. I love all you guys. Thank you.
The 3rd District congressional seat was won by Westford resident Lori Trahan. Trahan trounced Republican Rick Green of Pepperell and Independent Mike Mullen of Maynard, taking 59.6% of the regional vote to Green's 35.3% and Mullen's 5%. And finally, Edward J. Kennedy beat John McDonald, both of Lowell, for the 1st Middlesex District senatorial race. For more detailed information on the election and to see how Westford voted on the 3 ballot questions, visit westfordcatnews.org. Back to you, Tracy.
A year after voters approved a $1.6 million increase over 3 years to boost teacher salaries, long-term Superintendent Bill Olsen is warning that the coming fiscal year will be the most fiscally challenging in his memory. Olsen said Town Manager Jody Ross is projecting a 2.5% budget increase for the schools in fiscal 2019. But, said Olsen, 0.9% of the increase will cover the teachers' salaries, leaving only 1.6% of the projected increase to cover the remaining budget items over the current fiscal year, which ends June 30th.
A 1.6% increase to our budget is going to be extraordinarily difficult to accomplish, given the fact that this new development phenomenon will have an impact on our staffing, numbers of teachers, numbers of teacher assistants. It will have an impact on materials and supplies, not only instructional, but the cost of toilet tissue, other things, other cleaning supplies that we use. It will have a cost impact on busing and the number of buses. So it doesn't come without any financial obligation, and that's what we need to bring to the town manager, the finance committee, and the selectmen this year, that I understand that revenue is tight, but do we sacrifice all of the services and many of the services that we currently have for our existing students because of town growth and a resurgence in that growth to the tune of about 300 or 400 more students. So we're analyzing it very carefully. We're documenting it very carefully. We'll present it to you on the 19th. I look forward to that, but this is, in my years as superintendent here, now this is my 13th year overall, probably the toughest fiscal year that we'll be facing.
Watch the entire school committee meeting at WestfordCAT.org. Westford residents learned on November 5th that the Papagino's restaurant at the Westford Valley Marketplace had closed overnight without warning. Also shuttered was the D'Angelo Grilled Sandwiches restaurant across the street. PGHC Holdings, Inc., the parent company of the two restaurant chains, announced later that day that it had reached an agreement to sell the company to a Winchurch Capital portfolio company. PGHC filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection on Monday. The Dedham-based company closed approximately 95 underperforming restaurants, according to a media notice it posted on Facebook. That leaves 100 Papagino's and 78 D'Angelo restaurants still open for business. The company has restaurants throughout New England, with the majority in Massachusetts. The closing leaves 12 out of 30 storefronts vacant at the Westford Valley Marketplace, but Andy LaGrega, a principal of its property manager, the Wilder Companies, said he views the restaurant's departure as an opportunity to add a more trendy service or restaurant. Find a more complete story at WestfordCatNews.org. And now for our feature of the week. Norman E. Day School elementary students celebrated the new $240,000 playground that was dedicated on November 1st. Officials were on hand to celebrate the unveiling, including Superintendent Bill Olsen, Day School Principal Chris Sardella, State Representative Jim Arciero, who attended the school in his younger years, members of the Board of Selectmen and School Committee, and many educators. Retired Day School Principal Kevin Regan presided over the ceremony. Regan headed up a fundraising campaign to make the play area become a reality.
May this newly dedicated play structure provide each of you using it safe and respectful play. Bring each of you much joy, laughter, respectful interaction, curiosity, and wonder. This beautiful new source of play will act as a haven of fun and enjoyment for every day school student for years to come. On behalf of Mr. Sardella and all the people who've made the playground possible, we gift this treasured area to all day school students and the youth of Westford. Long live the playground and the excitement it will create. This concludes our dedication ceremony. Hope all of you enjoy the rest of the day. Hope you love your playground.
Julie Cook recently gave host Morgan Frood an overview of what students are working on in Art Club. Cook, along with Kelly Fitzsimmons, is an advisor for the Westford Academy Club.
So what are your goals for the club overall this year?
This year we added pottery, so as you can see the kids are on the pottery wheel, so we're getting them introduced to a new medium. We used to have just painting, drawing and craft that we would do with the students, but now we're extending it out to do a little bit of sculpture and a little bit of pottery on the wheel particularly, just so they get that that use of using clay.
Club co-president Julia Lavore explained why the art club is a draw for artistic students.
Why would you say people should join the art club?
Because you have an opportunity after school to just be creative and have unlimited access to supplies, and that way you can just get your homework done but also have fun with your friends.
And how many members would you say there are of art club?
I wouldn't say there's a definite amount of numbers because new people come every week and there are so many different groups of people that do art classes that people will stay and do homework, and sometimes they'll come for 1 week or they'll come for the whole year or just a couple weeks. So not a definite number.
Members of the school's National Honor Society are also making use of the club's resources.
So my name is Izzy Redmond. I'm president of NHS, and so for the next couple months NHS is coming in and making bowls for our Empty Bowls fundraiser February 1st, and the money and the proceeds are going to go to a local soup kitchen.
Watch a longer version of this art club overview at WestfordCAT.org. Here's Superintendent Bill Olsen with news about the schools.
Hi, this is Superintendent of Schools Bill Olsen with a school system update. I want to thank all of you who have participated in the school calendar survey. Over the last several weeks, we've conducted a survey asking you and the staff members about your feelings about vacation periods, the start of the school year, and you've provided us with some excellent answers, some elaboration on some of the questions that we have asked, and your comments are very thoughtful and very much appreciated. I want to thank George Murray for once again doing the enrollment projections for our school system. This is probably about the 25th year, maybe even the 30th year that George has done this free of charge. He does a very sophisticated enrollment projection based on historical trends in enrollments and developing a cohort survival ratio methodology that he applies to the enrollments, the October 1st enrollments each year. Those are the official enrollments that we use to report to the Department of Education. I want to remind you that the Addams Family, an outstanding production by the Westford Academy Theatre Arts Program, is ongoing right now. We're just after the Halloween period into early November. Performances on certain nights will go through November 11th. And we want to congratulate, it's an outstanding production, congratulate the students and staff who are involved in this production. As I've always said to you, I think we have the finest theatre arts program in all of New England. Right at the present time, I'm working on presenting or developing a report for presentation on school start times for next year, for the 2019-2020 school year. I have an enormous amount of research that's taken place over the last 20 years or so, maybe 20 plus years, on the impact of sleep deprivation on achievement levels, behavior of adolescents. So I look forward to meeting with you in community meetings. We'll have a couple, 2 or 3, where I'll present the research and talk about my plan for next school year that ultimately needs to be approved by the school committee. Bill Olsen, I wish you a happy Thanksgiving. If I don't have another cable program before then, it's a wonderful time of year, and look forward to seeing you next time.
Scribble, a 6-year-old black cat, is now available for adoption at the Lowell Humane Society. Here's WestfordCAT's production coordinator, Patty Stalker, with more.
This beautiful black cat wants to cross your path and more. Here's the Lowell Humane Society's marketing and fundraising manager, Crystal Arnott, with more.
Hi, this is Scribbles, and Scribbles is a 6-year-old domestic short-hair cat looking for a new home here at Lowell Humane Society. Scribbles was brought into us because her owner was pregnant and she didn't feel like she would have the time once the baby came to take care of her and the other cat who was surrendered. Scribbles is really affectionate on her terms. She'll come right up and she'll want to rub against you and sit with you, and she spends the majority of her day sitting on my desk trying to help me do some data entry work. Sometimes it's not quite as helpful as I think she thinks it is, but that's what she loves to do. But she really likes to be nearby you and close. She loves to be pet, and she's actually quite playful for her size. She did live with another cat and a small dog in the past, and she may do okay, but they would have to be really, really mellow and chill. It's probably the best bet for her to be the only cat. And sometimes she does get a little feisty when she's, had enough, so she would probably do best with older children.
If you think you'd like to provide Scribbles with her forever home, or would like more information on donating to or volunteering at the Lowell Humane Society, visit them Tuesday through Sunday at 951 Broadway Street in Lowell, or go to lowellhumanesociety.org. Call 978-452-7781. You can also find them on Facebook. For WestfordCAT, I'm Patty Stalker.
We're approaching mid-November, which means December and colder temperatures are only 2 weeks away. Here's what weather.com is forecasting. Here's WestfordCAT board member Betsy Alvarez with suggestions for things to do in the area.
Thanks, Tracy. Tickets are on sale now for Miss Bennet, Christmas at Pemberley, which is a sequel to Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. The Merrimack Repertory Theater performance takes place at the Nancy L. Donahue Theater at Liberty Hall in Lowell from November 28 to December 23rd at 7:30 p.m. At the end of Pride and Prejudice, heroine Lizzie invites her sisters to spend the holidays at her new home, Pemberley. The two modern-day playwrights, Lauren Gunderson and Margot Melkin, launched their sequel from that point. Ticket prices range from $24 to $56 per person and can be purchased at mrt.org. The G.A.V. Fletcher Library's Cookbook Club meets on November 15 at 7 p.m. The club members are dedicated to exploring cookbooks and sampling new recipes. This month's meeting is just in time for Thanksgiving. You can pick up a copy of the Shop Cookbook by the Food Network at the library's main desk. If you like to bring a dish from the cookbook to the group meeting, let Sarah Regan know by calling 978-399-2309. Registration is not required. For more information, visit westfordlibrary.org. Jeff Bershon and friends return to the Parish Center for the Arts on November 17 for a night of dancing and fun. It is BYO food and drink while you groove to the music of a bona fide rock musician. Jeff was signed by EMI Records at the age of 17 and has performed with some of music's greats, warming up for renowned acts like Black Sabbath, Free, Genesis, Robert Palmer, and others. Tickets are $25 for members and $27 for non-members. Visit westford.org/PCA to make a purchase. This is Betsy Alvarez, a WestfordCAT board member. Back to you, Tracy.
That's it for now, Westford. We leave you with images of Election Day at the polls.